Hi, Dyslexic Genius here. I'm back on the A1 and I'm going to talk about the spring barrels to an A1 and a few little ins and outs about them to make them run smoother and better for you. And we'll start with this mating surface right here. I talk about burrs all the time, and on these I had a couple of burrs on them because you just run your finger through and you can feel it. And this is from the machining process. They don't clean this up. So you just come in and keep the file flat and you just gently give like this to get a burr off. It'll just take it off very quickly and easily. This one here, you can see I had to go a little farther. I had a lot of bumps in here. And why do we do that? Because we want the ratchet gear and the main drive gear to fit flush down like that. And what that means is you go, why are you going to all this work, Brett? Well, if I have a little burr, there's going to be a micro lift on the gear. It's not sitting flat dead on. And that's what you want to look at. Because we worked on this side, now we're going to work on this side so the two mate together. And if you do have it, you do put it in and then you put your screw in, and then your screw might be hanging up a little higher than it should. These are tapered here 45 degrees, and they should fit into this part here, and that should fit flush. This is what holds it in place. This is inside mark. The other thing is the drive gear here has a bigger screw than the ratchet side. And you have to understand that. Not everything's all the same. So the gear drive here is a 1032 drill tap. The ratchet side gear is an 832. And I chased all the threads, but I want to show you here. This is the 832 on the ratchet side. And you see all the dirt and crud in my tap? Mm-hmm. That's what came out of it, like that. Now what you do, after you have that done, is I flex tone the shafts on both sides. I polished this piece out, and I rounded this off. You can do this at home, but you're going to have to do it by hand by holding sandpaper like this and keep turning. And I did the inside also, because you can see these little marks here. So when you put the spring barrel shaft through, it comes up here and it hits this. So if it's hitting a bump, you're going, man, I'm going to have to get a hammer to knock my spring barrel shaft into place. This is why they don't run in smoothly. This is all for assembly. And it makes them run a lot better. And the last thing is the hole here for oiling on both of them. I went up one step bigger than normal. I went to a number 28 drill. And what that does is it cleans out the hardened grease and stuff, and it makes it a little bit easier for the oil to pop in there. I drill this out first before I flex them in case there's a burr from doing that operation. Now we want to talk about the ratchet and the ratchet paw. This is the gear, winding gear, and this is the gear for the ratchet and the paw. So what you want to do is, like these, you want to smooth these out and clean them, but you also want to look for rust and low areas and the beat marks. So all you do is take some 400 grit sandpaper, hit it with a little WD-40, and you use a flat steel anvil like this or a flat piece of metal, and you just go pushing down. You don't want to have it tilting. And we're doing this just like we did on the spring barrels for mating. When I took them apart, I had all this crud. So these two pieces go together like that, and you want them to mate up nicely. And you're checking these for burrs also. And then you want to check the gear part of the ratchet and the paw. This is the ratchet. Well, on this one, I ran into a boo-boo right here.
Is that chipped?
That's chipped, and it has a piece of metal in it that's been bent over. So on that one, the paw comes in, and it'll go like this, or it'll hook. And then this one here will come around and it'll hook. So we still have enough material there for it to catch, and it will work. But what you want to do, I'll rotate my file. These are at 45 degrees, and this is flat. And this is a diamond file. I got this from Harbor Freight. And the reason I use this is when you come in, let's say this one, and you want to trim up the back part here and not hit the metal here. So we're just going to file in here, that little slot. You move this around, come in, lay it up against where you're filing, and it's clearing this. It's just going, the edge is just going in there, which is fine. And then you'll just give this a little clean up like that, and you come across like this. So on this one, the bad part, I'm going to come in here and do a lot of filing to clean that up, and then I will come in.
So you're filing from the bottom of the...
Yeah, I'm filing the bottom of the ratchet. I'm filing right in there. Not here, but there. Because this is a flat area, and this is at 45 degrees roughly. So you're going to come in with a file like that and clean that up, and then I will clean this up, and then I will go by and I will touch everything up just a little, make sure that all these are running. Got a little nick right here again, see this? We're doing this so it will run smoothly and it won't be holding up. If you just put this together like this, down the road you're going to crank up an A1 or a phonograph like that, and you're going to go, man, there is something really wrong with my winding crank mechanism. And this is the problem. On reassembly, on these, you'll put this in here. This goes this way, goes like that. And then you have the pins. So you'll screw it in place with the screws that I've talked about. And then you will, after you screw it in place, it will line up these two holes, those pins. The pin has a rounded side and a flat side. So you're going to put the rounded side in and go tappy, tappy, tappy in.
You're doing this with it not mounted on the spring barrel?
Well, yeah, I will get them together on the bench, and then I will have just a little bit sticking out. So when I come down onto the, right here, so when I come down, it'll all just align itself.
Okay, so you put those two pieces
I'll
together, and then you put it on the...
Yeah, then you're going to tap these in. You're going to have it together, but it's only going to be flush here, just sticking out just a little bit, so you can align in to those two holes. And that makes it assembly. Now, because you'll have the spring in on this, you'll line everything up, and you just go tappy, 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 and you're good to go. And the screws are in, and everything will look pretty. And I hope this video helped you, and that's my tip for the day.